beautiful Sacramento, California afternoon. On a nice tree-lined street. I couldn't think of a better day to do this. The temperature's just right. You're looking at a very nice part of a prestigious California collection here, brought to you by the son of the owner and builder of the car. It's a 1932 Ford sedan, two-door sedan. It is spectacular in its presentation. It's really a retro rod. You will not believe it as I walk around this. You'll swear this car was built just yesterday. This gentleman's taken care of it over the years. The restoration began in 72 and was finished 75, 76 or so. It's been babied over the years. It's just shocking. As I go around, I'm going to kind of tell you about it and share with you, but it's an all Henry steel. I would say this car is aged just like fine wine. It's a Cabernet in color, and it's a lacquer finish. The gentleman that restored it, which is the gentleman that owned it, 30, 40 years in the body shop business, and he's also in the auto wrecking industry. It's a lacquer finish. It's just spectacular. As we walk around, I'm going to keep pointing out reflections for you. Fun car to do. I've spent hours touching this car, and I find hard pressed to find any kind of flaw. There's literally no lacquer checking in the car anywhere. We could find just a little tiny baby. You know, I'll point out if I see something. Two-door sedan, not chopped, not filled, and wait till we get to the interior. You're already getting a peek of that right now. As I go along and I study the drip rails here, you can always tell a good car. I have a good friend that taught me this many years ago. If you can see the pinch welds along the rain gutter here, you know you got a good honest body. Somebody hasn't done fill or so on and so forth like that along these drain rails. So the rain gutters are still on it. You can see the reflections in the paint. We may get interrupted by a car going by, so on and so forth. There's the filled roof. The interior will take you back decades, but it's just gorgeous and it's literally flawless. This car's been totally babied. Chrome spoke wheels on it, big headlights. The wiring in the car is impeccable. If you hang on to the video, we'll cover that. Underneath the hood here is it's a Ford and a Ford. It's a 289 302 small block with a C4 automatic transmission. It has Jaguar independent suspension front and rear, so it's torsion bar suspension in the front. These cars ride like a Cadillac. I shouldn't say that, I'll bring the Ford down, but anyway, I like having a lot of fun. There's an Auga horn, and just to kind of give you a feel here, look at the reflections on the fender here. I keep coming back to that. This is a Jenny body. It's just a beautiful body. Bumpers are nice. The fit's extremely nice. I had the hood up. We covered the engine compartment here for you. You're going to see it in just a minute. The fit of the hood is just spectacular on the grill shell. I mean, you just don't see this kind of stuff. So it was a good, honest body. Again, it took several years to restore. They spent a lot of time on it. We're going to call it a retro rod or a resto rod. These are working Cal lights as turn signals, but they also, the gentleman even put turn signal flashers on it. Nice swan neck style mirrors on it. When we get to the undercarriage, you definitely want to hang around to the end of this video and take a really good look at this car. It's just super nice. You couldn't duplicate this car if you tried. Even the upholstery. I'm actually going to get in the back seat here and show you some of the threads on this car. The doors, I'm going to do that again here. I did this the other day on a car. Just like a bank vault. You literally, when you open the door, it just clicks open like it's supposed to. Keep in mind and remember that this is all lacquer finish on this car, so somebody spent a ton of time, or the gentleman spent a ton of time doing it. Again, 30, 40 years in the auto industry, well-known Sacramento area painter when he owned his body shop. This button tuck interior, I said that right, button tuck interior, just take you back, but it's literally flawless. The detail, if you look down here, I've seen these interiors in cars. Remember, I've been doing this about, representing cars and documenting them for over 20 years right now, and I've only done a few cars that had original button tuck interior in it, like this car. This car, everything was thought of. It's got a Nardi steering wheel. The wood grain on the dash is just spectacular. The wood grain on the window garnishing moldings here is beautiful. I know I'm using some pretty big words, but I tell you, this is a really nice car. An old AM/FM cassette underneath the dash here. The AC controls are right there. It does have air conditioning. He's got little aluminum boxes here and there to hide the wiring. Behind the kick panel over on that side over there is where the wiring is on the driver's side, where the fuse panel is. But just look at the texture. This is old brown Naugahyde button tuck, and it's still just as supple today as the day it was installed. It's just amazing. Even the seat brackets here are chrome plated. These are Jenny style seats, which means they flip and they fold down. The same bead or piping here is just about everywhere, and it's tight. Look at that nice little seat, under seat storage compartment there. The driver's seat does the same thing. I'm actually going to crawl into the back here and show you the back. Just kind of look at the headliner here. I know it's going to be a little bit of a long video, but you know, this just takes you back. I'm going to hop in here. You can see that the carpet is all trimmed along the edges here. But look at the upholstery in the, you know what it took to stretch this. I know the light's a little odd there, so I'll try and get a better angle. But you'll see how this swoops down. They come together there, and it comes together down here, and then of course the side panel there. Again, the upholstery on this car is just as supple as the day it was installed. It's string tight. Nice little armrest style here that's got some chrome plating in it, so your passengers are happy and enjoying it. Take your friends along, take your ladies along. Anyway, we'll come around, we'll keep walking around the car, and I'll kind of give you a feel of the rest of the stuff on it. I know I spent a lot of time in there, but the interior is what's really special about this car. Well, I wouldn't say just the interior, but it's one of the many special components of the car. With that said, I'm going to shut this door. Just like I said, you just kind of do this, and you just push it shut. Chrome spoke wheels, Jenny running boards. This is an all Henry steel car. We'll step back. Like I said, it's aged like fine wine. It's a Cabernet in color, non-metallic. I'm sure there's many coats of lacquer on it. It has a very nice pinstriping along all the Ford beltline lines, factory lines here. You can actually see the tail light in the reflection of the fender. You show up to a car show with this and people look at it, they're just going to go, time warp perfect. Again, you couldn't duplicate this if you wanted to. We're going to have actually an undercarriage video section. Look at that. But I'm going to give you a little peek right now of the Jaguar, which is the same level of detail right there. In a few moments, we're going to get you in the driver's seat. We're going to fire it up. Then we're going to move on to the engine compartment. You know, it's about 75 degrees right now. I could probably stand here all day and look at this car. I'm not being odd, we're straight honest. I tell you what I see. I know what I'm looking at. This is a very nice car. You hear me say that a lot. We're never any pressure. If you're seriously interested in a car, give us a call. We try and cover every square inch that we possibly can on a car. I've spent some time with this car today, getting to know it. You know, you might find a little, I don't even see any peppering on the fenders here. There's a little entry where somebody put their heel right there. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get behind the wheel here. Try not to step on the running board. Notice it has a tilt steering column, has a Nardi steering wheel, which would have been era correct. Locking GM steering column before they were even fixing you up with aftermarket stuff. Working windshield that folds out. The miles on the odometer at the time of inspection are 7793. Those are the miles of the build. These gauges are clearly 1970s Stuart Warner. Got nice turn metal dash insert, and then down here it's got gauges too that are Stuart Warner gauges that match, and they're straight out of the 70s. There are switches underneath the dash here, and that show you where the air conditioning is, so on and so forth. We're actually going to fire it up. He repositioned the pedal there, so we have it a little bit higher for his heel. It has an e-brake. I think this is a telescoping wheel. I just found that right there. Well, I thought it might be. It might be, but I'm one-handed right now. But let's call it as not. If it does, it looks like a telly style steering wheel. Anyway, nice little 32 mirror up there. I'm gonna fire it up. Starts right up. 289, 302, runs like a Swiss watch. Swish. Oil pressure is about 60 psi. It's charging. I haven't even touched the gas on it. We're going to do that now, so we got to get an idea of the charge. It's amp charging. The battery's up good. I believe he just put a brand new spanking new battery in it. Water temperature is about 170. We drove it to the location. Get a little better idea of the wood grain here. Okay, I'm going to hop out, let you hear it run. Again, I know this is a long video. 289 302 Ford C4 automatic transmission. I'm thinking it's about time you get in, put it in gear, but make sure you hang on to the end of the video. We're going to take a look underneath the hood here. Man, oh man, the hits just keep coming with this. Yep, you're seeing a Ford and a Ford. Nicely dressed small block Ford. 289 302 version is what I believe it is. Gonna go around here. Nice polished Cobra valve covers with the Cabernet inserts in it, so it matches the body. The firewall is just gorgeous on this car. This whole car is just time warp cool. Take a look down here. They actually ceramic coated the exhaust manifolds on it. The alternator itself has been polished. There's a custom bracketry here for the belt system, the drive system, so on and so forth. That's an Edelbrock Weber carburetor, so we're going to call it an AFB because of the time era. Kind of give you a peek here from the top side. Just about every square inch of this car is incredible. And you can tell this gentleman spent 30-40 years loving in the body shop business and enjoying hot rods. Brought to you by his son. We don't have a lot of information, so we're doing it based on my knowledge. It looks to be a 289 302, like I said. It's a Weber version of the Carter AFB. It has an MSD distributor in it. Here's the air conditioning compressor right here. The receiver dryer's over here. It is nice to see a Ford and a Ford. That looks to be a polished version of an Edelbrock Torker intake manifold, so it's got individual induction runners on it. Nice little aluminum box that's built right here that hides the coil and probably some of the electronics. We'll actually have a portion of the video that we cover where you can actually see the fuse box in it. I mean, a lot of time was spent. You don't see any wires underneath here, you notice that? Oil pressure sender, mechanical fuel pump. He even had a black oil filter there so you couldn't see it. It has a electric cooling fan and a aluminum radiator on it. And they spent a lot of time. This has been, as you can tell, as I told you already, that was finished in the 70s. And I'm sure he did a few upgrades over the years. But I would tell you, man, it just runs like a Swiss watch. It's just time for the old girl to go. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. I have a ton more for you. I don't know if I told you it's a C4 automatic transmission, but you hang on, we'll get the undercarriage for you here. When I was walking around, I told you about that he had the emergency flashers hooked up to the cowl lights also. So I thought I would share that with you. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. Let's take a look at the undercarriage here. Man, the hits just keep coming with this one. Wait till you look at the still photos at spudsgarage.com. Very highly detailed Jaguar rear suspension, Jaguar front suspension. Everything is either plated or polished. Quad coil over shocks, inboard disc brakes. Body, the chassis is the color of the car, the Cabernet. Fuel tank right there. This is all steel. And very nicely done. It's hard to believe this car looks like it was built in the last few years and not in the mid 70s. As I walk around, just look at the finish on this car, on the lower ends of the body, so on and so forth. Quad coil over shocks, polished stainless exhaust, all hard Allen hardware and fasteners. Wait till we get to the front suspension. That's a Ford C4 automatic transmission. Yep, I've already said it. Chrome oil pan on it, all the body color chassis and frame rails. We'll get up here, really give you a good peek at this. This car is just flat out amazing. That's what I would tell you. I end up with a lot of neat cars over the years to do. You look at the reflections right there. I'll give you a little peace sign. Anyway, I like having fun with these. This car is just awe-inspiring. Gentleman owned it for a lot of years. Extremely well done. It took several years to build this car in the 70s. Started in the early 70s. Finished in the mid 70s. It only has about 7,000 miles over those years. It's been painstakingly taken care of. Taken to local shows and events. I probably am repeating myself as I walk around here because I covered the other part of the video, but I wanted to remind you how nice this car is and a little bit of its history. There's the Jaguar front suspension again. Plated or polished, all Allen hardware. Chrome oil pan. Torsion bar front suspension is what Jaguar is. This car's just done right. Take a look at the stainless exhaust system. The floor pans on it are just gorgeous. Anyway, we're thinking you get the idea. You definitely want to go to Spud's Garage. He did just put new tires on it within the last 2 years. It has 235/75 R15s in the rear. Want to make sure I covered those. Has spoked wheels on it. These are true spoke wheels. The fronts are 185/70 R14. I'm going to tell you again, go to spudsgarage.com. I took a lot of bitchin' photos of this dude, and you're going to dig it. Hey, thanks for watching the video.